guys, it's Jordan. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today's story time. I know a lot of people wanted this Doctor Storytime part 2, but I have my story times planned out, so that'll be next week, not this week, as long as you guys still want that story time. But this week's story is the worst sneaky link that I ever had in my life, like to this day. This happened when I was like 16, 17, maybe about to turn 17. I might have been 17, I don't know. But this is the worst sneaky link I've ever had in my fucking life. Okay, so this is actually with a girl. I know a lot of you guys don't know that I'm bisexual. I am. Okay, so I met this girl on Instagram or whatever. I meet a lot of people on Instagram. I don't know why. And this is before I had a lot of followers, so it was a lot easier for me to like meet people and like, you know, just chill with people on like some regular type shit. So I met this girl on Instagram. I remember I had followed her for a while and I had never said anything to her because I'm like, well, this bitch, she just looked mean as fuck. She looked rude. But finally one day I started liking her pictures and she liked mine back. So I'm like, okay, that's my way of shooting my shot. I like your pictures and you like mine back. We're dating. That's how I do it. So she's like my back and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna text this bitch. So I texted her and like we're on some cool shit. I don't know what it is, but when I don't really like somebody, my mouth is so slick. Like, because I didn't like her at first. I just thought she was cute. I'm like, yeah, we can like fuck with each other, whatever. But it's not like, oh my god, I'm in love with this bitch. Like, if I really like you, I'm gonna be nervous around you. But if I don't like you like that, my mouth is hella slick. Like, you're gonna be like, this bitch is smooth as fuck. Because I don't really like you, so it don't really matter to me what your reaction is. So I texted this bitch on some cool shit, whatever. So I had got her number because I'm one of those bitches that's like, I don't like to text in the DM. Like, I don't really be on here like that, lying my ass off. I be on Instagram every day. So I got her number, whatever. We had started texting, like getting cool. I'm like, okay, she's a nice little vibe. She was cute. I was like just getting out of like a really bad relationship. She was cute. She was cool. So I didn't know that this bitch was crazy. First of all, I didn't know she was crazy in the head, like loco, literally. So we had like started to get close, like get on the phone, and I kind of started to like her, but it was nothing to me. It was nothing like, okay, I love this bitch, like I want to be with her for the rest of my life. Like, no, it was like, okay, we're on some cool shit, like we're like chilling for sure. So one day we had made plans to hang out, and she had kind of told me like her parents knew she was gay, but they were like not okay with it necessarily. And I'm not gonna judge you, like that's you, that's your family, and that sucks for sure. So she was basically just kind of being like, you know, I'd have to come over to your house or we'd have to go somewhere else, like you can't come to mine. And I'm like, I mean, I guess. So I asked my mom if she'd come over, and my mom was like, yeah, but my mom had to go to work, so my older sister was the chaperone. This bitch don't watch nothing. She don't. I'm sorry, but she doesn't. So we are like, we make the plans for her to come over. She comes over, whatever. Right off bat, it's not that I noticed the smell from her, but something was off about her. Something was off. And then like the things that she was kind of like saying, and like she was like, I understand being shy, but she was awkward. Like she just sat on the bed like, and I'm like laying on the bed like a fucking boy. Like, you gonna lay on the bed or like what? Like we're about to like watch a movie, something. She's like sitting on the bed and we're like talking. I'm like, okay, like this is kind of weird. This is kind of weird, but okay, whatever. So we started watching like TV, or oh my god, we start like watching like TV, and we're just trying to chill, and I'm trying to like get her to like talk to me, like, you know, be cool, because like she's awkward as hell. Like she's just sitting there, and I'm like, oh, like, do you want to watch videos on the phone? Like, do you want to do something? Like, do you not like the show I have on? She's like, no, the show is fine, and I'm like, okay, like what's your problem? She's like, I don't do this. And I'm like, do what? I don't come to people's house and just hang out like that. And I'm like, oh, okay, like what the fuck, like you wanted to come over. So I'm like, okay, like now you're making me feel bad because you're uncomfortable, but I'm like, the hell. So we like didn't like do anything that time or whatever, like we just chilled, and then she ended up going home, because I'm the kind of person where I will be like, okay, if you come over at 10 o'clock, please leave by 3. I don't like people in my space. I don't like people in my area. Like, I'm the only one who can wrinkle my bed covers. I'm the only one who can move around my bed. I don't like people in my space at all. So, and then because she was being so awkward and weird, it's like the time wasn't even passing by fast to the point where I would want you to stay longer. It was passing by so slow, and I'm like, oh my fucking God. And I remember when I told her, I was like, oh, can you like leave by 3 o'clock? Like, I have something to do. Like, that's my way of getting people to fucking leave, telling them I have something to do. So 3 o'clock comes and she leaves. Fine to fucking leave. So we're texting that day, and she's like, oh, I'm so sorry for how I acted. Like, I was just nervous, but like, I like your vibe. Like, I want to hang out with you again. And I'm like, okay, like, that's like, okay, I understand you were nervous the first time. Like, I get it. And it's like, I'm not like no fucking weirdo. Like, I'm not going to be like, no, bitch, because you were nervous, we're never gonna hang out again. Like, I understand that. I understand anxiety. So as time like goes on, maybe like 2 weeks after the first, like, this bitch like starts texting me like on some freak shit. And I'm like, girl, you are not about this in person. So she's like, I want to and if you know me, I want everything. So I was like, I mean, I guess, like, when are you trying to do that? Like, what the fuck? Like, when do you want to get that crack galactic, girl? So she's like, yeah, like, can I come over? And I'm like, oh, I have to ask, like, let me see. So she ends up coming over, and she starts being like awkward. Like, this is just my hair looks disgusting. It's like, I'm sorry, I'm humiliated. So she's like, she starts like with the same shit, and I'm like, girl, you're just popping off at the gums in the messages. You're just popping off at the gums, and now you're just like, girl. But like, whatever, like I said, I understood nerves, so I'm just like sitting there, like, I'm not touching this bitch, nothing. I'm like watching TV. So she starts like trying to kiss me, and I whatever. I'm like, okay, like, and I'm saying that because her breath smelled weird. Like, it didn't, like, I'm not gonna say that it didn't stink, but I'm not gonna say it did stink. It smelled weird. And I think it's because she smoked a lot, because it smelled like a fucking leaf. I'm like, so we're kissing, and I'm just like, dude, ugh. And I hate kissing in general. I fucking hate it. So I'm like, ugh, the fuck? So I'm just like mad as hell. Like, get the fuck off me. So we're kissing, starts kissing my neck, and I'm like, great, my fucking neck is gonna smell like a leaf. So she starts like trying to touch on me. This bitch does not know what she's doing. It's very clear. It's very obvious. So I'm just like, she's like, she just did not know what she was doing, and I could tell. So I'm just like, damn. I'm just like, damn. Like, what the fuck? It was awkward. I'm like, I'm not feeling this. And she's like, she breathed so loud. She's like, in my ear, and I'm like, bitch, I'm not even touching you. Why are you breathing so loud? So I'm like, girl, you're gonna have to get up off me. You're gonna have to get up off of me. So she's like trying to do her little thug thiz or whatever. She's not succeeding. I mean, it's horrible. And I mean horrible. Like, I mean terrible. So I'm like, dude, and then her stink ass breath, and then the combination of her like fucking rubbing my thigh and thinking that it's something else. I'm like, so she's like, can I give you, and I was like, like, I just was like I didn't want to be like disappointed. So I'm like, I guess. So she starts, and it's horrible. I'm like, dude. So I'm like, and then this bitch likes to go under the covers. I'm like, it's too fucking hot. If you don't get your ass from under these covers, bitch, it's too hot. I'm like, she's crazy. So I'm like, she's under the covers, and I'm like rolling my fucking eyes because she can't see me. So I'm like, bitch. So finally I'm like, oh, I'm done. Like, I literally let her do it for like 3 minutes. I'm like, I'm done. She's like, that good? And I'm like, yeah. I didn't want to be rude, but it was so bad. It was so fucking bad. So I'm like, dude. She wanted to kiss again, but I did not want to kiss her. Like, I literally, I couldn't kiss her again. Her breath was just so fucking rank. So I'm like, dude, no. So I'm like, oh, I don't really want to kiss. Like, I'm so tired. She's like, oh, okay, like, what do you want to do now? And I was like, actually, I have somewhere to go with my sister. Like, I have somewhere to go with my sister. She's like, oh, so you want me to leave? I'm like, I mean, I don't want to, like, say it like that, but, like, I have somewhere to go, you know? And she's like, oh, okay, like, I'll leave in, like, an hour. And I was like, no, we're leaving in, like, 30 minutes. My sister just texted me, like, try to get this bitch to leave. Get up out of my space. So she's like, oh, okay, well, I'm gonna order my Uber. I'm like, oh, okay. So she gets her fucking Uber. When I walk her out, she gives me a kiss. I'm like, Whatever. So she gets her Uber, and I texted her for a little bit after that, but I stopped. Like, that whole situation just turned so crazy. But yeah, that was my worst sneaky link I've ever had in my fucking life. I'm pretty sure that bitch hates me now, but it'd be like that sometimes for sure. But yeah, let me know if you guys like this story time down below. Let me see what story times you guys want to see from me next. Turn on the post notification bell so you never miss a post. Follow my Instagram at jordanairiyah and my TikTok and my Twitter at Jordan from Vegas with a Z. And yeah, just let me know how you guys feel about this video. Did you guys like it? Did you guys not like it? But yeah, bye guys.